Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet. Today we are checking out Dreamcatcher's Justice dance practice, and I know I have a lot of stuff to catch up on with this comeback. Okay, I've had some stuff going on in my personal life, so I've had to take a backseat a little bit on this comeback, but I want to check out some live performances. Those will be over on Patreon if you're curious, along with the other Dreamcatcher live performances that I have done. But I always like to check out the dance practice before I do a live performance because it helps me just focus on the performance part as opposed to getting distracted by choreo, and I love me a dance practice, okay? I love just being able to pull it apart. I'm very excited to get to fully see what this dance practice is going to be. They're always amazing and they just level up every time. I think I forget just how talented they are at just the dances and the stories that they tell with just the images that they create with the choreo until I'm there and I'm like, oh yeah, no, they're actually that good. Let's check out the video. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so good. They're gonna have backup dancers and everything. Let's do this. Ooh, okay. First off, where my volume at? Second, the way that they started with the blindfold, basically. We've had lots of imagery of blindfolds, which someone very rightly pointed out is because Justice is blind, which is not something that I picked up. I was very overwhelmed when I was watching the MV in my defense. I was going through a little bit of a moment because of that song, so... Ooh, I like how they're hitting those percussions. What was that assist up? What are these body rolls? Okay, for one, I like partway through that I clocked Handong and I was like, oh, hang on a second. Second, I love that we're having these isolated movements, like these will be like a small group of them that are doing certain moves and another small group that's doing different ones. So there's this disconnect between those two things, which I think is really interesting with what they're going through in the story of these verses so far. We've had the villains, which was very much playing off a bit of a parody, playing off of expectations, and then Justice was digging a little bit more into things that I more associate with Dreamcatcher, very much being like this battle cry, this despite all of these expectations, all these thoughts, all this noise of what people deem I should be, I'm going to stay true to myself. So having this disconnect in the choreo I think is really interesting, like image wise, of literally having that disconnect between who they want to be or the things that they want to create and what is expected of them or what is normal for being in the entertainment industry, for being an idol, and how those things aren't syncing up with each other necessarily. Also lots of balance, right? You think of the scales of Justice are that balance scale, so having these motifs of those balances or like mirror images of each other or having two sides not syncing up is that scale swinging a little bit, maybe. I love the way they're hitting certain parts of the percussion with this almost like I know there's like the recoil of it. Ooh. Okay, I just want to see that transfer. Just, I got thinky face there. Because we had Dami at the end and then we transferred to Handong in the middle. And I just want to catch that pass off a little bit better. Not the clearest pass off. I would have liked a better one. Honestly. Like, that was a cleaner one. Ooh, okay, can we talk about the synchronized shoes though? I feel like the video is not loud enough, honestly. I don't know how it's gonna go in the recording, but the way that you can hear all of their feet hitting at the same time, I love that we had those kick out that all happened there. Lots of like lines kind of happening as the energy builds up. Ooh. Love the groove on that move. That hip move is cute. Ooh, footwork. Love the spin. Dang, footwork in this. Ooh. Okay, always have to take a break before Dami comes for me. Okay, one, love that we have the footwork happening there, but synchronized, right? Talking before about how we had lots of parts where there were smaller groups out of sync with each other, doing different moves from each other, even when they did that canon where they were all on that diagonal line, which again, I would have liked a cleaner handoff in the focus there from Dami to Handang. I feel like it wasn't clear enough, whereas a lot of the time they have really clean ways of passing off who the focal point is in the choreo. And it took me a second on the first part, even though I know which order they were like singing in, to figure out where my attention was supposed to be, because it wasn't supposed to be Dami anymore. So that's like a tiny thing from me particularly. I would have liked a cleaner handoff, because I know that they can do those really well, of shifting the focus very efficiently and quickly between who's supposed to be the focal point. But even with that canon that they did in that line, out of sync, right? It's literally them dominoing through, but it's not them syncing up together and then having the chorus come in, and it's this huge group, not just the members but also the dancers supporting them, all doing these moves in sync. There's slightly mirrored images still in it, but you can hear the synchronization in their dance moves. So I love having this moment of when they're saying, we're going to continue fighting, we're all coming together, we're going to fight through all of this turmoil or barriers or things that are getting in our way. We're going to do that as a collective force, and that's why we're going to succeed. Also love the motif at the end where they were all pulling out these languid movements and they were flowing, but they were doing it like their own way, so it added this, I don't know, controlled chaos to the image, which was really nice. Dami on this part though. I don't know what it is about her doing this choreo, but she ate. That move! I have to go back for personal reasons. Okay, that move, I don't know what it is about it, but she does it so clean, and I'm not gonna justify myself. I mean, they all do it really clean, but like, dang, there's something. Ooh, I love that too. Build a barrier with the different levels and they have their arms out. Ooh. I love having Sua doing her own thing and then sinking back in. Ooh, okay, before Sua comes from my soul. I also love the different levels that they're using. Not just that build a barrier, love how they changed that up with this V formation. And we had people on the floor and then people standing up, because it literally builds this force, right? And having their arms out, literally building a barrier with that image. Love the way that they're using lots of different levels, even in the chorus choreo, because it's not so much that they're like doing like floor work or anything like that, but it's like they're doing these, I don't know, like middle positions of, there's like bending or bending at the knees, but bending at the waist, extended movements in like their legs or their arms. So they're like changing up the different levels just within like a standing position, which is really interesting. Like it's almost like keeping their footing, but still, I don't know, going through different levels or going through different stages of going against these opposing forces, if that makes sense. Being able to change and adapt and bend but not break, maybe? I love the recoil on some of these movements that they're hitting. Again, like recoil, like absorbing that energy but not breaking. Love how we had Sua and Xian go down, but we also had the two others bend down too on the outside. Love the power walk. Okay, but if she hits that high note in the live performance that we got from her while doing that choreo, dang. Ooh. I love the like, okay, for one, if Xian does do that, and I don't know because I know that there is a live performance with her where they're doing, I'm assuming they're doing choreo and stuff too, and people have told me that there is very much live vocals on them. If she's doing that choreo while also hitting that note, I'm gonna need her to calm down. I'm gonna need her to take a seat and let some of us have even the tiniest bit of talent, because how dare she? Again, love the recoil. There's almost like this hydraulic feeling to some of their movements where they're hitting certain parts of the percussion. Love at the end where we have almost a hydraulic ending in this end formation, but still having those languid arm movements in it. Like great use of this almost like this contrast between these fluid movements and these really hard-hitting movements, but also these almost like ticking movements and parts of it too. Again, here almost feeling like scale, right? Because we have in the middle, we have Jiu with both of her arms up, but the rest of them, it's asymmetric, right? So they're like mirroring each other. Again, having this constant feeling of balance or scales or mirrors, which I think is very interesting for a song called Justice, where you're trying to paint that image of balancing out those scales or having things with imbalance. So lots of moments of playing with that imbalance and then balancing things out again, out of sync versus in sync, having these isolated smaller groups in the way that they're changing the formations of the choreo and the way that they're getting from one point to another. Lots of like little motifs in it that I really like the images that they're creating there. Okay, the footwork was a little bit insane on that one. Honestly, there's a lot of footwork happening, which I think is a little bit distracting for me because I don't normally notice a lot of footwork in things. I feel like I tend to look more on upper body when I'm watching any kind of performance or dance practice. So the footwork is a little bit lost on me, especially since that's not my specialty when it comes to movement, let alone dance. I don't have a background in dance, so my knowledge of movement is more just in theater and acting, but some crazy footwork in this. Love some of the balance images that they're putting into it as well. Love this contrast between like when the whole group is in sync and then when they're out of sync with each other. Thami will forever take me out with whatever that shoulder dance thing is. I don't know what it is about that particular move that just like, takes me out, but it does. I'm gonna be candid here for a second though, so I'm gonna need everybody to take a deep breath, okay? Candid moment. Not my favorite choreo from them. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's different live because the energy. Maybe it's my energy, honestly, because I've been going through some things. So maybe it's me. But watching that, there are definitely parts where I was like, not quite what I wanted for it. And again, maybe that's on me. Given the kinds of choreo that they've had where there have been these wonderful moments of storytelling in the choreography, I don't feel like I got the same thing here. And maybe, again, that could be different when translated to an actual live performance where you're feeding off the crowd, especially for a song like this, where I feel like it very much lends to feeding off of that energy of being in front of their fans. Maybe it's something with like how this comeback was going, because I know that Xian had to take a break. I know that there's some other things being switched around probably before the comeback was happening to accommodate that. I don't know what else was going on with them as a group that is maybe somehow related to why that happened. So I don't know. There was definitely like a moment at the end, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, of like Gahyun, where I just like, I don't know, there's something in her face. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, maybe. But I don't know, there's just something about it that I was like, not my favorite, not bad. Obviously, they were great. They did a great job with the choreo. I feel like it matches some of the energy and the military kind of feeling to the instrumentation and this feeling of coming together as a collective force. The formations going with that. I do feel like there are points in it where I'm like, that is some interesting storytelling. And there were like moments where I was like, I really like the image that we're creating there. The contrast between these really hard-hitting movements and these very drawn out, smooth arm movements is just really interesting to me. However, again, not my favorite so far. And I don't know what that's particularly about. Maybe it's me. I'm fully willing to take responsibility for the why I feel that way, because I've definitely been going through it. So it could be on me, but let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments. I would love to have a discussion about all this, and I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me. You can click this playlist to go into my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post a Dreamcatcher reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.